This dramatic Hollywood TV fantasy world that's stuck in people's minds as if that is how the world really is. With facts to refute with those dramatic scenes. Part 3, just because someone is young and hardworking does not mean they are struggling to survive. There is such thing as a hardworking person who is financially very well set and does things that may be risky or profitable just because that person likes to do it. Just because someone spends a lot of time in a casino does not mean they are losing. There are such thing as a person who won a significant jackpot a long time ago and invested that money aggressively enough to have enough money to never consider working again unless the S&P 500 significantly crashed. Just because a person went somewhere that alcohol is served does not mean they are so drunk that they cannot control themselves. Some people literally and factually go to the bar with their friends and have only one drink. Sit around the bar talking about things. Some people come home from a long day at the golf course with their friends and drink a glass of fine Cabernet while reading a viscous novel, sitting by a fireplace. Just because a beautiful woman and fiancée of a millionaire is missing does not mean she is dead, and does not mean that the man who she was planning to marry killed her. Some people just travel the world for fun. In some countries, people may not have access to phones or internet. Wealthy missing people may have just disappeared from their home country to go build much-needed aqueducts in rural African areas. Just because they are caring people who wanted to help develop the livability of third world countries, without telling everyone they know exactly where they are going. She might have just not thought she would be out there for a long time, but now it's been a couple months and she got caught up building some aqueduct in Africa. Just because a person's significant partner came home later than usual does not mean he is going to beat her. Many men in the world never would hurt a woman, just because that would be very wrong. Just because a woman is missing in a rural area of Africa trying to develop the much-anticipated African aqueduct system does not mean she is cheating on her future husband with African natives. Some African natives are very nice people. Many people in the world in general are very kind and easygoing. There is such thing as a person who would not consider sleeping with African citizens just because they know a lot of them might have blood-related diseases. And there is someone halfway across the world who is as devoted to her as she is to him, who she planned to call whenever they get phone reception. But the aqueduct project keeps dragging along with delays, and the area is difficult to get in and out from. So she doesn't have the time to travel outside of her project's area just to call him and say, "I miss you, have a good night." Just because two adults do not communicate every moment does not mean they do not or should not trust each other. A lot of people live very repetitive and boring lives. Just because someone broke up with their partner after a long time together, because she refuses to be nice anymore, and is talking about the possibility of a relationship with some kind world traveler who might work on African aqueduct projects, does not mean that anything is actually happening. There is such thing as a person who just sits around in a card room waiting for a seat and has nothing better to do than to write romantic drama fantasies on their phone just for fun. There is also such thing as a person who might have enough money in his 30s to attract to many women, but who is not mentally plain enough to stop himself from scaring away any woman with his craziness and possible insecurity. A lot of women would only consider making claims on a factory worker who lives paycheck to paycheck or a nurse practitioner who will be in debt for their medical school loans until they are 60 years old. Just because someone does not tell you about how they got their money or how much there is under their mattress does not confirm or deny that there may be a whole lot of money under the mattress. There might be such thing as a person who does not want women who are only attracted to him for the money under his mattress and would only be interested in someone who is not seeking to find someone to exploit for his under the mattress money that may or may not truly exist at all.